Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the weekly edition of Big Time Sports. My name is Joe Dunn. If you're a high school football fan, you're invited to join us for the next 20 to 25 minutes as we talk high school football all over Stark County. Week number 1 of the 2025 season is in the books. Hope you really enjoyed the 3 games we brought you last week. We thought it would be good to start off with 3 games and 3 exciting games, and hope you enjoyed all 3 of those. Congratulations to all the winning teams from last week. We had some big wins. Let's check out some of the big wins that we talked about over the weekend. How about Louisville? They went down to T County. Coach Chris Kappas really has the Leopards playing well. They knock off New Philadelphia 24-0. Meanwhile, North Canton Hoover got revenge on Akron Buchtel. Remember last year, Buchtel went into North Canton and knocked off Hoover in week number 1. Jackson over a good Chardon team, 25-13. Coach Renzi Parnell got his first win as the head coach at Canton McKinley, 43-25 over Warren Harding. Lake went down to South Range and won that game 49-13. And the Alliance Aviators, they have a lot of skilled athletes this year. They beat Parma Padua by a score of 25-3. Some of the big games this week we'll be talking about next week. There's some good ones. How about Medina? 1-0 at Hoover. 2 good football teams. That should be a heck of a game Friday night over in North Canton. A game that will be played at Mount Union Stadium. It will be Louisville and Alliance. Northwest did not play last week. They had some illness up at Norton. They canceled that game. They'll be at Marlington this week. St. Vincent St. Mary will be over at Perry. Congratulations to Perry, their first win of the season over Central Catholic, a game you watched right here on Big Time Sports. Jackson will try and make it 2-0. They'll go over to Mahoning County to take on Austintown Fitch. Central Catholic with a tough game up at Mogador, and Lake will be at Boardman. We really like the Blue Streaks. Boy, they got a good football team this year. As I mentioned in the preview of the Federal League, I think they've got a good chance to win the league. Ty DeGeorge, the Suns coach, really had a game to talk about. 3 or 4 touchdowns, was in on a lot of plays defensively. So congratulations to all the winning teams around Stark County. We're going to take a break. Our featured team this week, the Canton South Wildcats. Head coach Matt Dennison is here. We're coming right back to talk Canton South football right after this. Okay.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
You're only as good as your people. And what we've done here is that we've created a culture where people flourish.
We don't want it to be a transaction. We want it to be something where there's a consultative approach, a relationship that allows us to really, 1, ensure our customer the right way, but then 2, to let them understand the value of getting to work with us.
It's an extreme amount of satisfaction for this team that we have right now. We've developed a team that is solely based on relationships.
Rabbit Landscaping is Northeast Ohio's premier residential and commercial landscaping establishment in Jackson Township. They provide an ample amount of services including landscape design, hardscapes, deck and fence installations, outdoor lighting, lawn maintenance, leaf removal, and snow removal. Rabbit Landscaping aims to provide a quality, trustworthy landscaping service to your area. Call for a free quote at 330-936-7616.
Welcome back to Big Time Sports. As we said, our featured team this week, the Canton South Wildcats, who opened up the last week, week number 1, with the big win. And head coach Matt Dennison is here. It's beginning his 5th season already down at Canton South. Coach, good to see you again. It doesn't seem possible. 5th year. I remember he just got hired down there. It seemed like a couple of years ago, but it's 5th year. It's been a good experience for you thus far, though.
Yeah, it has. It's been a real good experience. I've had a lot of fun at Canton South, and not only is my 5th year at Canton South, it's my 25th as a head coach.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've been doing it a long time. time. I started when I was 12.
I remember when you were 12, so don't,
Yes,
don't
you
say
do.
that. But tell us about that opening game win. What did you do right, and what do you got to get better at when you got CVCA coming to town this week?
Well, we had Field last week, and Field is a very good football program, good team. They went 9-3 last year. They had two first-team All-Ohioans back on their defense, so they were a tough test for us the first week. And you know, we came out, we played really well. Our defense played really stout. The defense really gave up one score. They had a short drive that we gave them the ball at the 50-yard line that they opened the second half, and they drove it there. Their other score was a botched punt, and the other their field goal, we turned the ball over right before half. So defense, we played great. We just got to continue to do that. We stopped and run really well, and it's the best we've played defensively since I've been at South. We're playing as good as we ever have. Things we got to work on. A couple of our coverage teams needed some help, and we worked on that pretty hard this week. And then, you know, offensively, we had 440 yards or something like that, but we turned the ball over 4 times in the first half. So we fixed that second half, but we got to keep the ball in our hands.
Exactly. Well, you got one game in the books, 1-0. You got a couple scrimmages. Does this team have an identity yet, or you're still trying to find out what it can do and what it can't do?
Well, you know, the nice thing about, you know, having a young team last year is we're a veteran team this year.
Exactly.
And makes practice a lot more fun because, I mean, it's fun going in like Friday. We were talking about it today in the coaches meeting that our guys actually understand the game plan going into a game this year because they're more veterans. So that's been very good for us. So we have an identity. We you know, defensively we let the dog hunt a little bit. We keep it simple, but we let our kids play. You know, offensively we're having a lot of fun offensively. We've got 2 really good quarterbacks, and we play with that, and we can talk about that when we talk about Brody here, who's our returning guy. He's turned into a Taysom Hill type player for us, so he does a little bit of everything for us. And so we found our way with that, and the nice thing is we have a much broader offensive package this year because our kids know the offense.
Sure. I'll tell you what, you got CVCA this week, then you got a game against Akron East, coached by another former Zip up there who probably has the best team in the city series up there at Akron East. Yeah,
Marcus has a great team every year, and they're a formidable foe. And then CVCA, everyone knows that their running backs going to Rutgers, and they've got a good team. That's one thing we want to make sure in the offseason. A lot of people want to look for wins. We look to get better. And so we're going to challenge ourselves preseason and cut our teeth, and you know, iron sharpens iron, and we get ourselves ready for the playoffs in the non-league games. That's the one thing I've noticed about your schedule, Coach, the last 2 years. You've really challenged your team. You had some really tough opponents early before you got into conference play. Yeah, you know, I learned that at my previous job. When I took over my previous job, we had good records, but we kept getting beat early in the playoffs. And I talked to some veteran coaches and say, now challenge yourself in the preseason. And we had a really big rivalry against Dover when I was at New Philadelphia. And the lesson I got there was don't make that rivalry game the toughest team you play. So we started challenging ourselves there, and I noticed how our program developed there. And so right away, we started challenging ourselves with good schedules at South, and it's really helped us. You know, I think 2 years ago in our run to state, we played St. Clairsville and Dover to open the season, and that made us so much better. Last year, even though it was rough, the Benedictine, maybe that one didn't make it. that was AD did a bad job there because in scheduling that. I'm the AD, so I'll take the blame on that from the AD hat. But you know, starting off those 2 games, it doesn't hurt you. It makes you see exactly who you are and figure out who you are. So we like to do that, and we opened with Field, who was 9-3 last year, and returning a good team. And you know, CVCA, our league kicked them out because they were too good. Well, we're going to continue to play them. And then you know, Akron East wins the city every year. So that's good when each team gives us a different thing that we can test ourselves with. This week, you know, we're going to have to line up toe to toe and punch them in the face, and that's the type of game we'll find out how tough we are this week. Exactly.
Got a young guy sitting next to you who's key to your season. Why don't you introduce him, and what do you expect from him this year?
Yeah, this is Brody Beagle. Brody plays an outside linebacker for us, inside linebacker sometimes for us on defense. He was our starting quarterback last year. He threw for 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Had a great year there for us. This this year, with the thing about him is we can center the offense around him a lot more if we move him all over the place.
Okay.
So one thing we talked about in the offseason was, hey, you're going to have that role at quarterback, but we also want to put you at running back. We want to put you in the slot. We want to put you at all these different places. And we have a lot of fun things that we're doing. With Brody last week, he carried the ball for 70 yards. He threw for 40 yards. Unfortunately, we didn't get the ball to him in the air, and he'll probably have a couple catches this week. I always, that old song, Mr. Football from like the 1940s. That's what we're trying to do with him. He can run, catch, and I mean, he's our long snapper. He's our backup punter, so he can do a whole lot of things. And his legs he's dynamic running the football, so we want to get him more opportunities to run the football in space than we could do just sitting him in the pocket. And we're fortunate enough that we have the ability to do some really fun things. Last week, we have a whole sprint out series with him at tailback, and it's toss, sweep, sprint out. And he had a couple completions that last week. Got a couple more things in each and every week. We'll keep adding to our plays.
Gotcha. Well, Brody, welcome to the program. Sounds like it is a very fun offense to work in. Tell us about how you play, knowing that you may be in one position one series and someplace else the next series. How do you adjust to that, and how much do you like it?
I like it a lot, actually. It's really fun. But I just stay focused and trust my guys and just know wherever I'm at, I got to do my job there and focus on that position. And
when Coach Dennison told you what you would be doing this year, what were your first thoughts? Because you were quarterback pretty much exclusively last year. Now you're going to be in the slot, as he said, running back. What were your thoughts when he finally told? How did it sink in for you?
I was like, let me see how this goes. And then I started playing. I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. I like it.
Yeah, tell us when you're coming up through the Canton South program, who were some of the guys you looked up to and you kind of patterned your game after a little bit?
I really looked up to Poochie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was he was always there to help me step up, and he told me you gotta focus on your guys, you gotta help your guys, you gotta bring your guys up, you gotta keep yourself composed and
What's the best part of your game? If you're going to be throwing passes, catching passes, running with the football, snapping the football, what part of that game are you satisfied with right now, and what part of the game do you have to keep getting better at?
I love running the ball, but I for sure got to work on throwing the ball and making better reads, and that's about it, yeah.
Of course, you got a tough one this week. How do you prepare for a game, maybe mentally? I know physically you're pretty ready. You hydrate through the week. You practice hard. The mental part of the game, how do you approach that on Friday when you get to school?
Just let the wheels turn and watch film and.
Yeah. Anything special you do? Do you kind of, after school? I mean, if it's a home game, you got to get 2 or 3 hours to kind of make yourself get ready. What do? Do you go get your favorite food? Do you listen to some music, or how do you spend your couple hours before kickoff?
I usually go home, get something to eat, and talk to my mom and dad, and then just talk to them about how the game's going to go, and they just.
How much fun is it to play those home games down at Canton South? That's a great community, a lot of great tradition down there. How much fun is it playing at Canton South, putting on that Wildcat uniform every Friday?
So much fun. So much fun.
How much are you going to miss it? I mean, it's got a lot of football yet to play, but at some point it'll be over and you're going to miss it, because high school football is probably the best time of your life.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it a lot. I've been at Canton South my whole life. I played football for Canton South, and it's my home.
What about your future after high school is finally over? Would you like to play at the next level or go to college? What would you like to study?
I'm starting to think about going more to the next level, but might be a carpenter, but I really want to go to the next level for sure.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, it sounds like he's a special guy. When you trust him as a quarterback, as a wide receiver, as a running back, he can snap the football. When did you finally decide this is how you're going to kind of put him in the motion in those separate situations?
Well, the fact that we wanted to see if we could play with both quarterbacks, and we found out that we have 2 good quarterbacks. Yeah. That just really opened it up, and it made us, and Brody, I talked to Brody about it, and I told Brody, at quarterback, we can't necessarily center everything around you as much as we can when we move you around. If you watch the game, every game we play, you're going to see it's when he's at slot, we're doing things with the slot. When he's at tailback, we're doing some special things with the tailback. So it keeps people on their toes, and that's what he allows us to do, and allows us to be very diverse in what we're doing, and just a whole bunch of different things that our opponents have to prepare for. In fact, our scrimmage, I told him going into into week 1, I said, okay, first series you're playing here, second series you're playing here, third series you're playing here. We got to let them prepare for all of it. And,
is he on the defensive side of the ball too, or not?
Yes, he plays a lot of he plays full-time defense, and that's the other thing that's nice. You know, him being one of our better defensive players and surrounding everything around the strength of our defense, because we really think our defense has a chance to be special this year, and he's one of the key components of it at the position he plays. With what we're doing, we're able to actually rest him on the offensive side of the football and keep our defense strong 100%.
Gotcha. Well, Brody, get some rest. You're going to be a busy man for the next 10, 11, 12 weeks. So thanks for coming over, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach, stay put. We got a couple more players we can't wait to talk to about Canton South football. So we're right back with Big Time Sports after this timeout.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
Certified by the American Lighting Association, Furbay's Light Shop is your go-to for all lighting needs, residential, commercial, or industrial. Our experts assist with every detail, from bulb size and fixture type to designing layouts. Visit us for hands-on displays showcasing various fixtures, or log in to furbay.com/lightshop. Let us help you visualize the perfect light for your space. Whether you need advice or want to explore lighting options, stop by or log in to Furbay's Light Shop today and see how we can brighten your project.
Okay, thanks for joining us on our weekly edition of Big Time Sports as we get ready for week number 2 of the high school football season. If you're a high school football fan, you look forward to the football season so much. And my experience has been, once it begins, it seems to fly by. You wake up in week 1, and the next time it's week number 8 or 9. Is that your experience too, Coach? You do the same. You wake up every day and do the same thing. That's like Groundhog Day for you once football starts, isn't it?
It's a weekly cycle,
yeah,
and
exactly.
that makes it the weeks go, the days kind of go long, but the weeks go fast.
Exactly.
You know, because boy, we have some long days during the football season, and you know that's the life of a coach. And growing up in a coaching family, I learned that you better work hard on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and not get much sleep. So that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, your dad told me years ago when we were worked up at the University of Akron, asking about coaching. He said, Joe, it's a way of life. That's exactly what it is, and you experienced that early, and you're experiencing it right now.
I haven't been a year without it, so I don't know. I don't know what a fall would be like without working like a crazy man.
Exactly. You mentioned your coaching staff in our first segment. Pretty much the same guys you're working with this year, the staff? No,
we actually had a good, nice little turnover in our staff, and brought in some veteran coaches, brought in some really good talent coaches. I'm really excited about the guys that we have on our staff. You know, coming back to us, Brandon Weekly and Austin Cole were on last year's staff and did a great job, but we were able to bring in, we brought in Chris Moore, who he played at McKinley and coached at Salem for Ron Johnson for a long time. Yeah. We were able to bring in Dugan May, who played for me at New Philadelphia. His brother's he's a line coach, but then played at Ashland. But his brother's a quarterback at Bowling Green right now. Brought in Dan Patterson, who was a longtime coach at McKinley. Yeah. He coached our line the last few years. Was the head coach at East Canton for a while. Josh Grimsley's on staff. So you hear start counting the name Grimsley, you don't have to say much more. And then we were also able to get Joe Morgan to coach our wide receivers and defensive backs. And Joe's done a fantastic job, and it's nice the kids see a guy that from Canton that went to the NFL and played at the highest level.
That's right.
Joe's done a great job, and then rounding out, we got Rob Karovic back running our defense again.
Great. Sounds like a great staff.
Yeah, good defensive coordinators. My brother's defense coordinator at Wowzer for a long, long time, and now he's with me.
Sounds good. You got a young man sitting next to you who you're expecting a lot from this year. Why don't you introduce him and what he means to the team?
Yeah, this is Braylon Terrell. All the three guys I brought tonight are our captains. Braylon will be started last year both ways for us. He's one of our wide receivers. Also is a free safety. He's really basically the quarterback of our defense, and that's something that he grew into and something we molded him into. His sophomore year, he got a lot of playing time for us, and then last year we centered, put him in charge of making all those calls defensively, and he's done a great job, and he really does a fantastic job. And then he kind of fell into the offensive role. He's probably the fastest guy on our team, so and we've got very good team speed, and so he's a game breaker on offense, so we have to put him over there also. But he really closes ground on defense, does a great job for us.
Braylon, welcome to the program. You're a busy man on Friday nights, playing both ways, dual player. What do you enjoy most? You like catching passes or hitting people that already caught those passes? But that's a whole different mindset, isn't it? Tell us how you adjust to that on Fridays.
I for sure definitely like to hit people more. They catch the ball.
Now, does it help being a wide receiver to figure out maybe some of the patterns they're going to run or some of the things they're trying to do against you as a defensive back? Does it help being a wide receiver and trying to figure things out?
Yeah, for sure. It kind of helps me read the offense a little bit more. Like, I know what they're going to run.
Yeah, going both ways, you're not going to leave the field too much. When do you start hydrating and getting yourself ready for Friday night? Because I'm assuming you hardly ever leave the field, which means you have to really pace yourself and be ready to go on Friday night. How do you start on Monday to make sure you're at full strength on Friday?
I hydrate all week, make sure to eat everything good, and it gets me through the week.
Exactly. Tell us about that opening game. I was thinking about this when driving over to do the show. You probably prepare for that first game longer than any other game you play. I mean, during the season, you got 3 or 4 days to get ready. You practiced for what, like a month to get ready for that opening game to win it. How important was it after all that hard work this summer to get that win in week number 1? How much fun was it?
Really fun. I think it really set the tone for us.
Exactly. When did you think maybe we had this game in charge on Friday night? Because opening kickoff, opening game, you're not sure what's going to happen. When did you start feeling good about things?
I would say probably second quarter.
Things are starting to fall in place?
Yeah, for sure.
Coach said you're going to throw the ball a lot. You're going to run the ball. It's going to be an exciting offense. When you get in the huddle and your number is called, how much fun is it to know that you're the #1 receiver and you've got to get open?
Oh, I love that. I know I'm going to get the ball and it opens it up for me. When
do you know, like, when you're playing against a cornerback or a defensive back, maybe a linebacker will pick you up? When do you know at a certain point in the game where you can beat this guy? And do you let the quarterback know you can beat him on a certain route? Do you talk about that maybe?
Yeah, I'll start reading the quarterback size, and I kind of know when I can.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, you guys are off to a great start. Congratulations. You got a tough one this week. You got CVCA, so best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, we got one more Canton South player that can't wait to get up here and talk some football, so don't go away. We're back right after this.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
With Bell Store's Bell Buddy Rewards, you save in-store and at the pump. New members receive 20 cents off per gallon as a welcome gift. Everyday savings are made easy. Instantly enjoy 3 cents off per gallon just for being a member. When you spend $25 in store, unlock an extra 5 cents off per gallon on your next fill-up. Buy 5, get 1 free. Track your drinks and earn free coffee, fountain, icy, and espresso with drink clubs. So start saving today. Download the Bell Stores app and sign up for Bell Buddy Rewards.
It's always that personal touch that they know you.
Primetime has people that can help you through every step of the way, and when you're my age, you need that extra help.
You don't want a lot of questioning when you're already dealing with a medical issue. Primetime is trying to help us get down the road as long as we can.
And if you're not in the right situation, a senior can lose everything. I feel with Primetime we picked the best program.
Okay, we are still talking Canton South football tonight. They've got a big game coming up Friday night against CVCA. Try and go 2-0 to start the season. Veteran coach Matt Dennison is here. And coach, you got a young team, but how many young players do you still have coming up? You probably was a group you had last year, now juniors and seniors. What about the young ninth graders and sophomores? You got a good group coming up? Yeah, we do. We got a real good group coming up. You know, we have a real nice thing this year because, you know, one of the old adages, for every sophomore you start, you lose a game. Yeah, exactly. And I looked in the room and I didn't even realize this till film day on Saturday. All of our sophomores and freshmen were at JV because we played so many sophomores last year and juniors that, you know, we're junior and senior laden in the varsity team. But, you know, our JV team, the young guys, we're looking forward to them coming up. They're doing a really nice job for us. In fact, it's helped us because our scout team's been a lot better because we don't have our young guys actually on scout team. Yeah, when you're developing a program, you don't want to just get 2 or 3 players in one class and maybe 30 in the next class. How do you develop maybe 10, 15 guys in each class so you always have some key guys? Or how difficult is that to do? You know, it's very tough. Actually, and it's even tougher now with all the distractions kids have today. It even makes it tougher to get kids to come out and play. We're feeling very comfortable. We have 54 kids out 9 through 12 at a school our size. We're very happy with that. And the goal I have is 15 to 20 each class. And sometimes you get there, sometimes you fall a little short. But it's one of those things where you have to be constantly visible. You have to have a good off-season program. You have to make the off-season program something that kids want to do. And the nice thing is, like last year's off-season was our best off-season by far. Great. I felt like we finally turned into a program last year in the off season with our weight training, and I knew that good things were coming. And the nice thing about that is when these guys start getting stronger and start looking the part, a lot of other guys look at it and say, I want to look like that kid because he's strong and he's got muscles. This guy looks the part right here. Yes, D'Angelo Spear. Why don't you introduce him? Yes, this is D'Angelo Spear. D'Angelo is will be a 3-year starter for us. In fact, 2 years ago in our big run, he played more snaps than anybody on our football team as a sophomore. And then he's a 2-way player like in last year. And then this year, he's one of our captains. Again, he was a captain last year. And he's really done a great job. Got what place did you get in state? I got 4th. You got 4th place in state at wrestling. Great. So a very good athlete all around. D'Angelo, like I said, he's a dynamic player. We actually moved him out to defensive end. He spent a ton of time getting himself in shape this year. He's really done a great job with that. So, you know, we got him on the edge this year because of his quickness, and he really had made things difficult for field last week. And he's going to make people have a game plan for them at that position. D'Angelo, here you are, your senior year. I remember doing the game when you played Bookville. He was probably a sophomore when you guys played Bookville. I remember you had a heck of a game. I remember it's kids only a sophomore playing really well. How quick has it gone for you when you look back? You're a freshman, sophomore, all of a sudden you wake up, you're a senior. How quick is it going? It went really fast. Yeah. I was surprised, actually. Like, it was like last week, like, it was like I was a sophomore again. It was weird. Yeah. What are your plans after high school? Would you like to play at the next level? And that's the goal. It's like either wrestling or football. It's like in between. And after football's finally over, what would you like to do? What would you like to study in college and finally make a career out of? I want to be a trainer, like sports medicine, basically. Okay, at the high school, college level, or just maybe your own training building or something? It's like in between now. I'm still thinking. Well, I'll tell you what, you got a big game coming up with CVC. How much do you study the tape going through the week and get yourself ready? Well, it's like a sophomore I didn't used to, but like as a senior, it's like all day basically. What do you look for on tape? You look at pretty much the guy you're going to be playing against. What do you try and pick up some of his habits and some of the things he likes to do? A couple of the tendencies, like if he gets like a tail, like pulling. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, your senior year, you've had a heck of a career. It's not over yet, so thanks for coming over, and best of luck Friday against CVCA. Thank you. Coach, always fun having you on. As I tell people, I knew you when you were just a little guy. Now you've been a coach for 20 years, so thanks for coming over tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you, Joe. There you go. Matt Dennison, head coach at Canton South. We are back next week. The North Canton Hoover Vikings will be here. Have a great week, everybody.